so much of what happened already is like a blur, but like some of those moments are just like I'll never forget it because it's like your baby that you've been waiting for it's here now, and it's like
What's good, y'all? Hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. It's your boy Marcus B. As always, I'm with the one and only Mr. Evan Simmons. Unfortunately, new guy Chris cannot be here, but anyways, this is episode 71 of Holla at Me with yours truly. And today we had somebody on back for Dad Talk Part 2, Mr. Cameron Roucloux. If you've been with us since the beginning, he was one of the earlier episodes, and we had him on to talk about what it's going to be like for him to be a dad, because his wife was about 7 months pregnant then. Now the baby is about 4 months old now, so we got to talk about what it was like going through the rest of the pregnancy, what it was like having his wife give birth the entire time in the hospital, what it's been like since having the baby. So it was a super informative conversation. I learned a lot. So I'm really glad that Cameron was on to help explain some stuff and shed some light on some things I was unaware of. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. If you do, make sure you like, follow, share, and subscribe. Get it out to all y'all homies so that way we can grow the following. Sure. Yeah, grow the following more. Friendly reminder that if you need any apparel, vitamins, supplements, nutrients, anything like that, go to Redcon1. Use promo code T20 Marcus B, 20% off your entire order, and you help the podcast out. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Peace. Feels good. It always feels good to have somebody else in that chair. You know what I mean? I love doing the episodes. Let me finish. We have consistently done the episodes where it's me, Evan, and Chris. But right. Then the secondary episode where we have somebody else on. For the past 2 months, we've only had.
Alton was the last one.
Alton was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been Alton and Marcus Duran, the only two people in the past 2-3 months.
Yeah. And I'm really large, so I kind of count as 2 people.
Dude, I always forget how big you are until for whatever reason, if you're standing outside your classroom and I come over to warm up with your men's choir and steal some coffee. When you're in the hallway, it's yeah. That's a normal size dude. And then you get inside the entire classroom and you're just oh, nah, he's just a massive human being.
Yeah, the other day we were doing some sectionals and our student teacher was running them. So I was I'm just going to hop in. We had a bunch of kids out, so I was I'll just hop in and sing whatever part, 10 or 2 or something. And normally, especially this year, we're so far away from the kids all the time. So we're in a practice room, and I go to stand next to him. I'm all right, here we go. She's running the show, and I literally had 2 or 3 kids next to me, and they were God, why are you so big? I was I don't know, leave me alone.
That is actually something I did want to talk to you about. Having a student teacher.
Yeah, we can circle back.
Yeah. I want to touch on that, but ultimately, man, we are here. Could you actually get the mic a little bit closer to your face?
Yeah, sure thing.
Because that's set to.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's.
You getting it?
Yeah. It's set to Evan.
Normal size.
Yeah.
Do you need me? The barber always has to have me slouch down like this, and it's always some little short.
That's a struggle. You got it there, Big Doug. Nah, man, it fits. Just slide it on. Yeah. I'm gonna marinate in that statement for a little bit.
You need to grease it up.
Yeah. What am I doing right now?
Yeah. You're just putting some protection on. trying to keep the bullshit out.
Got to
got
keep
it?
those P's and S's down.
Yeah, you got to keep them hard syllables down.
The articulators.
That's better.
Did you press record on the camera?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Honest question, because I didn't, and Chris
fine.
isn't here to do. But yeah, so the last time you were here, dog, I believe it was
October, maybe?
October. I think you were about 2 months away from having
Yeah.
your kid.
Yeah, we were in the final countdown.
Final countdown, and since you've had your baby,
Yeah, dude.
she's
And
healthy. She's
alive.
living well.
Like, I just saw her like an hour ago. She left. So, at this point, every day we're like, we haven't messed it up yet. Like, at least too bad, maybe.
Dude, that stresses me out.
Yeah, it's like, it's wild. Like, sometimes I like go back and forth. Sometimes I really think about it and I like get in my own head about, oh my God, like we made a baby. Like this is a small human and she has like little bitty tiny fingernails that grow like weeds and there's like a little bitty tiny heart inside. Like you really, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then other times it's just like nonstop, just like whatever you're like trying to feed her, or she's fussy, or changing diaper, and it's just like you just go until she sleeps, and then you're like, oh my God, like
Yeah,
the day is over, like it's done.
yeah.
So yeah, it's like a weird. It's crazy. I don't know. I like I said, I go back and forth between just being overwhelmed on two different sides of the coin by it. But
It's such a unique experience, and I don't think even and this is okay. So first question: do you think being a teacher helped prepare you to be a parent?
yes, I think so.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much? Like compared to your homie that's your age, that is not a teacher. Let's say he's just an accountant.
I think just being around young people. I mean, obviously she's 4 months old right now, right? So, it's not like it's not the same thing necessarily.
Yeah.
But I think just like, especially like having a baby is a whole new level of having your patience tested.
Yeah.
Because they can't tell you what's wrong. So like when they're upset, you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, do they need a diaper change? Is she hungry, or is it something else?
Yeah.
Like, so, and patience is not like something that I'm super great at to begin with. If you've ever ridden in the car with me.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think just interacting with young people in general, because they're still figuring it, just like we all are.
Yeah.
But, I think just that alone, having to have like some kind of natural like level, like ground base for patience is probably a good place to start if you're wanting to have a kid.
Okay.
I just think interacting with people is going to make, have like you're interacting with a small human better than just like if you're at a job where you're just by yourself, or like you work from home, like, you don't really do a whole lot of human interaction in general. So yeah, I think it definitely, the empathy part of it. But I'm sure as she gets older, it'll
be a little bit more familiar.
Right. Like I've seen kids do this or that, or whatever,
Yeah.
Things that I will have dealt with. And also like myself, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm like, you're not going to get away with anything just because I know like what you're going to try to do. So, yeah, I would definitely say, I think that it's maybe at least a little bit, starting out a little bit ahead.
So on the flip side, do you think you are more empathetic to your students because you have a kid?
My kids have told me that.
Really?
They were like, yeah, you seem like a lot. I don't know if they say nicer or like, like something
Yeah.
like that. Something to that effect. I think part of it is I've tried to, in general, with COVID and everything this year, be more understanding and cut them some slack.
Yeah.
But a lot of they've said like, yeah, you seem like a lot, a lot more. Like you're not yelling at us or something. I was like, well, I don't know. Like maybe that's because of that. And
Maybe a mix of
that,
both. Probably.
yeah,
I mean,
I think,
I think it's definitely a mix of both to an
yeah,
extent.
for sure. So yeah, because the truth is like I'm completely and totally like in love with this little girl. Like
Yeah.
I'm like totally wrapped around her finger. So I think in general my demeanor is pretty like I'm smitten right now.
Yeah.
Like so that probably is something that like comes out in other ways,
Do you think you unlocked a different level of love?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so my wife, her name's Jamie. We've talked about that between us, and like our parents told us that our friends that have had kids already, like we have several married couple friends that are like relatively close to our age, and a lot of them are younger than us or kind of around our we're kind of the older ones,
Okay.
but we waited longer to have a
Yeah.
kid. So we've seen, a lot of our friends have babies. And that's something that they all say, like, yeah, you just, like, you don't understand. You think but you don't know. And that's it. Like, there's no other way to explain
Yeah.
it. When we got married, like, that was the threshold for,
Of love. Like
yeah,
that was
like that was
that's
it.
the most
There's no
you thought your capacity of
Correct.
love was like Jamie. He was like, all
right.
that's it.
And then, like when this happens, it's like they're like kicking the door down with one of those like whatever those things are.
Batman.
Yeah, it's like no, you're not even. You have no clue.
Do you,
So
do you think it's just going to continue to grow, or do you think it's just like kind of like within that like you're just going to have this like level of love for your child, or do you think as she gets older, it's going to get like that ceiling's going to get higher?
I don't know. I don't know that I've really thought about it like that. I think that I know at some point, right now she's not really like misbehaving. We haven't
Yeah.
like she's still.
I mean, she's 4 months old.
Right, exactly.
She can't do much.
So I know it's not gonna be all like smiles and roses
Yeah.
forever, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be frustration and discipline. And as much as I love her, I'm very much more interested in being her parent than her friend.
Of course.
Which is not a super prevalent thing, I think, right now, in like our culture, our society.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that probably until I die, like that's the love that you have for a child. I don't know that anything will ever surpass that.
If anything, it might like complexify.
Yeah.
That's even a word. Like it might get more complex.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Especially when they do things that they shouldn't do.
You know their personality traits. They're good and they're bad.
Right.
Understand more about them.
I mean, already in like 4 months, I think about just my own parents and times that I made decisions that they weren't thrilled with.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you rectify that? Because I understand how much that level of love now, but then also like how much that also must hurt as a parent to have to like deal with, discipline and all those kinds of things. So I've thought some about that, but at this point it's very much kind of like a the honeymoon part of a relationship. I mean, to be honest, where you don't, well, honestly, we're getting a pretty good amount of sleep, but like, it's fun. It's a really fun stage of life that we're in right now. That's, she's just like every day you can see a little bit more personality starting to develop, so maybe, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or so, she like started kind of smiling and, so dude, like the first time they smile at you, it's just like, I mean, like, I just,
man,
just like a puddle.
Those, I never, I mean, I still don't, but like, I have a more understanding now of like how big those, like, why people were tripping out about like those firsts of whatever.
But like, I mean, honestly though, like every smile, like whether it's the first one or today at lunch, like we're at Clem McKeska's and she's just like having a blast with the little menu thing they have at the table. Like it was and it was like the funnest 30 seconds of my day.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh, this is, I don't know why, but I like this little dangly menu, so it's, and I feel like it's hard to really understand until you're in that, because I've always liked kids and I've always, feel like they have a kid, like, yeah, that's cute, whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't really get it until it's yours, until you're really there and you're like, yes, this is the cutest baby in the world and I don't really care what anybody else thinks and I'm going to blow up your social media with 1,000 photos all of the time.
Yeah. I know you said you had the cutest baby, but I have the cutest baby.
That's incorrect, but it's okay. I know she's my kid, but she's pretty dang cute. I don't really know how she did that because I'm pretty ugly. My wife is beautiful, but like she overcame. She just looks nothing like me.
Oh, she looks more like Jamie than
she's
I was about to say,
like 100% her. Which in Jamie looks just like her mom, and her mom looks just like her grandma.
Really? So just like very, very close.
Yes.
Just been riding the same features no matter what.
Every now and then, Jamie she sends me like 100 pictures a day while we're like in rehearsal. I'm just like, no, like can you sing? Hold on. Oh my god. I'm just like, and every now and then she'll send me one. I'm like, oh god, she looks like me in that picture. Just like for whatever reason, like the face that she's making or the light or what the angle, for whatever reason, I'll be like, oh god, that is my baby. Like,
yeah, I think I got the opposite. I got the facial features, the way I move my face from my mom, but like all my physical features from my dad.
And so so she looks like Jamie, but she's definitely my baby because she we're just at home and she's just like just like talking up a storm, just like we call her, the nickname for her is Squeaker or Squawker because she just sits there just like just going
at it.
And we recently were talking to Jamie's parents, and my wife Jamie is super just like even keel, like she's naturally kind of an introvert, and she was very much that way as a baby. Her parents were like, no, like you didn't really like make a lot of noise, you didn't talk like, and Liv's like 3 months old, just like Jamie's always like, yeah, that's your kid, like so yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Dude, that's awesome, man. It's like you said before we jumped on, just having a human being in the world now.
Yeah.
That is like you plug this person into the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like they are now here
literally
solely because of you and Jamie. Like they now exist.
Correct. And yeah, I know. I literally sometimes will just be like, I don't get it. Like, like in so many ways, it's, I feel like it's like reaffirmed my belief that like there is more, that there's like, this is of some kind of divine something, but also like there's so many more questions, like every little thing works just like so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like for a little human being to come into, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the birth process. Oh my God.
Let's get into it.
Y'all, we should not have any control in this world. Women should run everything. They are far superior. They are the superior race here. Like,
Fair. All right.
I'm serious. Like, I feel like I came out of like having a baby and watching Jamie go through that. My like super sweet, supportive wife, and like, I'm like, we should like make a monument to you because you did this. But the thing is, women do it all the time.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, I did that. There's no way I could have done it. Like, I would have died. I'd been like, put me to sleep, and I just couldn't. Like, I'm too big of a baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I came out of this whole process like being a super hardcore like feminist here, just like we shouldn't, but like the Amazons, like pretty much like they should just that's what we should go back to. If you need,
you guys hold it down, whatever you need.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. She was like, I don't know how early she was, a week or so, almost a week early.
Okay.
So Jamie had
Quick thing. Pause. What? Can you look this up? What qualifies a premature baby?
Okay.
So whenever you reach 34 weeks, there's a term, I can't remember what it is. But basically 34 weeks is you can have the baby at any time and it's no longer considered premature.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
When is the entire 42?
40 weeks
Okay.
is full term. So, yeah, actually Jamie had a friend that just had a baby that went 2 weeks over her due date and was like, get this thing out of me. Like, yeah. So I think 34 weeks is, I think the term is viable. I think is the term. I don't know.
Google just says a premature birth takes place more than 3 weeks before the baby's estimated due date. In other words, a premature is one that occurs at the start of the 37th week. Premature babies are
Before the 37th week?
before the 37th week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think, yeah, so you can still be early, but I think the term is viable. Like when you reach 34 weeks, like basically they're just strengthening.
Yeah.
They're already
More than likely.
everything's there that needs to be there.
They'll be mostly good.
Yeah.
Some things are a little thin.
Like you should be fine. You probably won't need to spend time in the NICU or
Yeah,
anything
there won't be
that.
any major
So
complications.
before 34 weeks, you may have to like have some time in the NICU for, I don't know, stuff to finish. I tried to learn as much as I could. I still feel like I don't know anything.
I just kind of think of it like they're cooking.
Yeah,
I guess.
basically
that's all I could think of.
right. Like when I make
That's the only thing I can wrap my head around.
When I
that
make
is the closest to it.
When I make a pork butt, it's low and slow. You gotta let
You gotta let it get golden brown on top.
Man.
You gotta let the meat
gotta let it
tenderize.
Gotta get tender.
Tender.
So it's kind of like that, I guess.
pull apart
but you don't
baby.
eat it. You don't eat the baby when it comes out.
I'd hope not, man.
No.
That'd be
So yeah, so she was like maybe not even a week early, but so Jamie like had some high blood pressure towards the end of her pregnancy, like randomly when she went in for a checkup, and they were like, "Yeah, you're close enough, so let's do it." Yeah, so literally we had a scare like the week before. And they sent us to go like get checked at the hospital, and they were like, "No, you're good. Like go home." And so then the next week when she had her appointment, it was the same day that we were filming for our Christmas concert.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so we were always joking. Well, Donna always was like, "This kid's gonna be born on the day of the Christmas concert. I know it." So we're like halfway through our recording for the Christmas concert, and Jamie calls me and was like, "Hey, want to have a baby?" And I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" She was like, "Yeah, I went to my appointment and my blood pressure was kind of high, so they're going to send us to go be induced. So
Damn.
that's if you don't know, that's the term. You're induced is they start the birthing process. They start labor, I think, artificially. I don't know if that's
Really.
Basically, they give you a drug that starts the labor process. So yeah,
So she didn't have her like water. Her water didn't break.
No, so that is actually that only occurs in about 10% of pregnancies. That's how
Really?
labor begins. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
So the other 90% is like manually induced.
So labor is a long process. So like in movies and TV shows, they kind of make it seem like your water breaks.
Surprise
and then,
water break.
yeah, you're like, oh, my water broke. It's time to go
Yeah.
to the hospital. And that does happen.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the labor process begins with you start having contractions.
Yeah.
And from the time that begins to the time you have a baby, normally that's like anywhere from 12 to, 20, 22 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's not like, and I knew this before. We watched stuff, we read stuff. Like, I understood that before this happened, but it's different experiencing it because, like TV and movies, they make you think like, yeah, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, and you got a baby. That's very uncommon, especially for the first one,
go.
right? So we go over and, we go home and like pack up and get something to eat because we know once we get over there, she's not going to be able to eat really till we're done. So we go to the hospital and we get there like 7, 8 o'clock. And so she's already having some contractions on her own at this point. And so they like hook her up to this thing and they have it on the little screen. You can like see the contraction. It's nuts, man.
What exactly is a contraction? Do you know?
So it's when the uterus is like starting the process to evict the baby. So
Okay. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I know that you have to, you got to be at the hospital when the contractions are 5 to 7 minutes apart.
Correct. So
Or else it's like
you're about to.
it'll just drop out.
So
not
right.
drop out, but
Yeah. No.
Kaplurp.
I mean, I guess that could happen, but not usually.
Not usually,
But,
of course, but I'm.
But like, so a lot of people, the labor process starts at home. So you start having these contractions.
And I know that you're not allowed to go in until there's X amount of time between contractions.
So, but with her, because they were inducing, so they give her this drug that starts the labor process.
Can you look that drug up?
Sure.
I can't remember what it's called. But
also the longest pregnancy on record was 375 days.
nah, that's a lie. I don't believe that.
That's what Google said.
Google's a liar.
How?
Slow.
Evan's just making up facts back there.
He's got facts.
He's off camera. He can just make up facts whenever he wants.
I forgot that we haven't set it up because we haven't had people on here, but set up the TV and linked it up.
But anyway, so like some people elect to be induced. Like
Really?
So like they say I want to.
They're just like, let's get after it.
Or they say I want to be induced on this day, and so like we had a day that she was supposed to have the baby by, and we had an appointment like the next day that if she hadn't started labor on her own that she was going to be induced. So
There's a drug called misoprostol.
that's it.
Misoprostol.
So yeah, it starts the labor process, and then. So then you're just like hanging out in the hospital room, just like, I like watched my concert recordings. We're watching TikToks, like, you know. At this point, it's not like super painful yet. Like it's just kind of like more uncomfortable every few minutes.
Yeah.
So then they came in, I don't know, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and they decided, they were like, okay, we're going to break your water now. So they literally just like, there's this like hook thing that they like,
Jesus.
yeah, it's crazy. I'm just like sitting there just like watching all this, just like kind of asleep, kind of awake, like what's happening, And so then once the water breaks, the contractions start picking up.
Okay.
Like their intensity.
What is the water?
It's
It's amniotic fluid,
yes,
right? Yeah, you're
correct.
breaking the amniotic sac, like
That's
the
it.
sac the baby's in.
Good job, Evan. That's right.
Should I know these things?
I mean,
Or are you just being Evan?
yeah. No, you should know these things. These are facts.
Did you know these things beforehand?
I knew like a little bit. I
Okay.
didn't know like a ton.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still probably like getting half of this. Like Jamie's gonna watch this and just be like, no, that's not
incorrect.
right.
Oh,
Like,
bro. Like,
you're an idiot.
the handful of women that watch this show are going to be
Yeah.
very upset with me.
Probably.
With my lack of knowledge.
Yeah. So they start that, and then she starts having contractions, and like she's been a champ. Like they had some other stuff happen, and the nurse was like, do you want pain meds like before we do this stuff before that they did before they broke her water? She was like, no, I'm good. So, but once they broke her water, she was kind of like, okay, like we'll do the the contraction or the pain meds or whatever.
Did she get the, what is it, the epidural?
So before that, she had fentanyl. So
Oh, wow.
like, yeah, right. So it's like, again, my like sweet, like super kind, not extroverted wife. They give her the fentanyl, and literally as soon as they put it in her thing, she's like,
She just floats off.
I was dying. I was like, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think we took a picture. She was like, take a picture with me. Like, that first hit of fentanyl was like very strong with her. So yeah, they did that for a while, and then I don't know, sometime during the night. That's the thing. Like you're basically like awake for, I don't know, 2 days.
Yeah.
The guy came in at some point and was like, okay, we're ready to do the epidural. And they did the epidural. And really, there wasn't like a big deal. She said that, I mean, honestly, when we first got there, the nurse couldn't get an IV in her arm because I don't know, she's nice, but she like blew out veins in her hand. Jamie was like, that was the worst part. Like that was worse than the epidural, So, I mean, those guys are, dude, they're like pros. They just, I mean, because the spot that they have to stick this giant needles between like 2 vertebrae, and they can't go too far in, like, and that's why they get paid $1 bajillion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I had a conversation with my friend and who's like she's studying to be a doctor, and I was like, and she like, this is the first person that like I know that I was able to have like a conversation with, and she was telling me like, because she hasn't gone to med school yet, and I was like, because she kind of wants to figure out like what track she's gonna do, and she was just talking me through everything, and I was like, dude, nothing you have said interests me in the least. It sounds goddamn terrifying.
Yeah.
And she was just like, are you for real? I think, because she used to be a music major, that's how I met her, and she was like, yeah, that's why I stopped being music major. That shit's too important. I was like, no.
What?
I was like, no. Your life, like you
I could mess up on a concert. It won't kill anybody.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's it's wild.
But this was her argument. It's that she goes to so much school that it's like you do everything in your power not to kill somebody. Right? We don't go to school long enough to where we do everything in our power to not screw a kid up. It's just like, here's a couple things.
Yeah.
Hope you figure it out.
Music helps you have emotions.
Yeah. And when she said that, I was like, okay, I get you saying. I don't agree, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah.
These doctors, nurses, wild. Shout out to every doctor and nurse.
Dude, my sister's she's a nurse. She's going back to school right now for sidebar here. She's going back to school to be a nurse practitioner. You want to hear something really wild? She's doing these something for like she runs COVID units.
Yeah.
Or she works in the COVID unit. So she's being a travel nurse, and dude, she's like making our salary for a year in like 7 weeks. Right? Isn't that crazy? Like between like her regular pay, night pay, COVID pay, like all these things, like so she's making like 7 or 8 grand a week, working like five days, 12-hour shifts.
Is it possible for us to like take a break in our teaching career?
No.
Dang it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's super dope.
It is.
I still couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't either.
No.
Especially
Could not
after
do it.
like, I don't know that I've ever really spent like real time in the hospital.
They stress me
I've
out,
gone
bro.
to visit people and stuff. I've never like been on the like care receiving side of things really. So this was like eye opening in so many ways. But yeah, the epidural is wild because it like basically you're numb from wherever you get it down. So
That also stresses me out.
right, like so it's like once they give you that, you're not doing anything. Like you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you're until I don't know. I guess it was probably 24 hours later, something
Really?
like that.
So she had the baby and she still couldn't feel the legs?
Right. Well, so let me see here. I'm trying to get on my timeline. This was like, I guess, early in the morning, the day that we had the baby. So we didn't have Liv until like 9:30 at night.
Really?
That night. So she basically the long of the short of it is, after she got the epidural, she just never got like you're supposed to get to I think a 10 is the
Fully faced.
right.
Yeah.
No, the baby she didn't like.
What?
So you're supposed to be dilate at a 10. When
Yeah.
you're dilated to a 10, it's time to then it's time to push.
Okay.
So we just never got there. We got to like a 9, and then Jamie's doctor actually came in because she was on shift at that point. And she was like, "Oh, you're still here? I didn't think you would still be here."
Oh, wow.
So she was kind of like, "You've been in labor for 24 hours at this point, so I'm gonna give you about another 45 minutes or an hour, and then if you're not at a 10, then we're gonna do a C-section."
Oh, wow.
Which is, we were like, "Oh, okay," like, you know,
45. That must have been the most stressful 45 minutes to an hour.
we kind of knew that was probably what was going to happen. And
Really?
at this point, we had figured out the epidural was only working on half, like, of her. So, like,
Oof.
her right leg, I think, like, the right side of her body was working. But, like, she was in a lot of pain, like, on the left side of, like, her left hip.
Damn.
Like, where the baby was. And, dude, I'm telling, like, the thing I was not prepared for was how violent the labor process is on a woman's body. Like, I mean, she's, like, like, shaking. Like, you can see the, like, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, they should get to do whatever they want. Because there's nothing that we do that comes
anywhere
even
near it.
close
Yeah.
to that.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, I just remember so many times just like watching her, like breathing and just like powering through these. I mean, I'm watching the contractions on the little monitor. It's like a little, it goes up and you can see.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh God, it's still going. Like, and they're like maxing out. Like it's capping on what the thing is reading, and it's still going. So I'm like, oh my God, like these contractions are massive. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so even with the epidural, even with the pain medicine, it still is like, you know, yeah, I don't know how. There's a lot of opinions. This is another thing you learn. Like when you have babies, like there are camps of people that feel really strongly about all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Got a home birth and all that stuff. Like, it's like water birth and
All of those
That's
things.
what Esri did. And that's bananas.
I don't get it. But yeah. So we were like, she was like, we're going to do a C-section. So, I mean, we had talked about all the possibilities of what could happen.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't that we hadn't talked about that. But that was like a little more stressful, I think, for both of us because we hadn't necessarily really talked about what
that
that's going to
option.
be like. So she went. They were like, all right, we're going to take her back and get her all prepped and ready, and then we'll come get you in like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. So they leave with Jamie about 8:45, and I'm in a hazmat suit, sitting in the room that we've been in for the last 24 hours by myself.
Cool.
Wrong. So at this point, I really hadn't been like, I don't know. I don't know if I was just, there were so many things happening and I was trying to be like whatever she needed or whatever. I hadn't really had a whole lot of time to kind of just think and like process on my own. So yeah, that as soon as they left and I was there by myself, like sweating in this hazmat suit because COVID, right? And so I was like, oh my God, like I feel like that's when it really hit, like we're about to have a baby. But then also so they were gone a lot longer than they told me. And then I was like, oh my God, like is something wrong?
Yeah.
Like, is something bad happen? You know, so I ended up waiting like 45 minutes.
Jesus.
Like they took her and no one told me anything for 45 minutes and they did not come get me. And so then I'm like going through like every like horrible, I just like spiraling. Just
yeah,
like,
of course.
like
100%.
everything bad has happened. Oh my God. I like called the nurse on I was like, where, like what's happening? Like, where are they? Why haven't they come to get? And they're like, they're still prepping. I was like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
So then they come and get me. And literally from the time that I got in the room, I was in there for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then it was baby. Yeah, because I came in there and they had already, like,
cut her up?
Yeah. Like, I walked in, I was like, I saw, like, that, and I was like, I don't want to. Yeah, right, yes. So, like, then you're, like, back behind. You can't see any of that. But she's, like, strapped to one of those, like, death row looking things.
Really?
It's like because she's all like this.
Yeah.
Right? So, and she's, like, shaking because, like, all of it is intense. It's a very intense situation. And so then they're like, okay, we're about ready to get the baby out. And so that was another thing. I was like, well, she's cut open. Like, it shouldn't be. No, dude, they're like yanking that baby. I mean, literally, she's like they're pulling. I was like, why is this so, like, rough? Like,
violent. Yeah.
Like, she's cut open. But I get that's just how it is. So, you know, and I guess.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, man, I can't do that.
And I guess Liv had, this is how you know she's my kid. She took a dump in the womb, which happens. Like,
poop is involved in pregnancy.
I knew that.
So if that happens, then they have to like clear their lungs out because they like have all that in there. So they got her out, but it was probably like 30 seconds, a minute before we really like heard her like cry, like
damn.
because they're clearing all that junk out of her. So that minute we're just like sitting there like
just waiting,
like seemed like 900 years long. And then the minute that she cries, we're just like, ooh, and I was like, ooh, I was like the biggest baby. I can't even lie. And so then they're like, you know, she's strapped to the table with her guts open. So like they're like trying to put all
what I just thought about, dude. That's
put all
so
that
stressful.
back together, right? And so then they're like, okay, come over and meet your daughter. And literally they're like weighing her and cleaning like all the baby gunk. Dude, babies are just like, movies just lie. So they lie so much.
Missed the mark on the baby thing.
They
Like-
come out super clean,
No,
right?
they're so just like, yeah.
Covered in
Oh
stuff.
my God. But even still, like, they're like, okay, you can, like, I was literally like, am I going to break her?
Yeah.
Like, they're like measuring her and weighing her. I'm like, can I, like, touch her? Like, you know, and then she, like, grabs my finger, and I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Just like, like, I'm going to cry thinking about it. Yeah. Like, literally just, like, there's a picture that I took of her, like, holding my finger while they're doing, like, all of the, and that was it. That was the moment I was, like, done forever. So, yeah, it's wild. Having a baby, the whole birth process is.
Is that what the whole like skin to skin thing like costs more? Like I've heard it.
No,
I've heard
no,
it
no.
costs
So
more
that's
to like.
so that's actually, at least I think for the most part, is actually now like a really widely accepted kind of like thing now. Like, so basically, as soon as your baby is born, after you do all the, you know, measure them, feet print, all that kind of crap like that. They call it the golden hour. I think it's called the golden hour.
Oh.
It's basically like where the baby spends the first hour or so of their life, like skin to skin on mom. Yeah, and you talk about just like a beautiful, like, because they take us back to the room and it's just the three of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's insane. It's just such like a truly is a beautiful experience. Like those are things that I'll never forget. You know, so much of what happened already is like a blur, but like some of those moments are just like I'll never forget it because it's like your baby that you've been waiting for it's here now, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's still sometimes like, yeah,
Jeez, man.
it's a lot, yeah, but man, my wife, dude, she is like she's the man, like, she's the champ. Like, I'm serious,
She's
dude.
the champ.
I'm telling you, women, they just do it. And I just know so many, I know for myself, there's no way I could have done that.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, we go home like a day or two later and that's it. Like, you know, then you got to figure it out. You know, and she just like had her guts cut open.
Yeah.
And yet she's like giving this human life from her own body. Like, she's continuing to sustain this child through like breast milk while she's like healing from being cut open. Oh my God. Right?
Dude,
the fact that you can like
so
have a
stressed.
child and then like feed it like afterward with your own body is just, it's amazing. It's a miracle.
It truly is. Yeah, we started doing formula maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days after, just because like we had some like issues with the milk and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
More
it happens.
But like, honestly, I was like, oh, good, I can help do something now. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, we're super lucky. She's been sleeping through the night for like 6 weeks.
That's
Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you like what's been like the hardest part.
The first couple weeks are really hard.
Right.
You know, like the first week or two, she's eating every like 2 hours.
Damn.
So just like up all the time.
Yeah.
And honestly, like we're so lucky. We're so blessed. Like her mom and her sister came and helped when we first got home from the hospital, like right away. And that was great. And then my mom came and stayed. And then we were like, okay, like we can do it by ourselves. And then we did like a day or two and we were like, nope.
Just kidding.
Like, and so her mom and her sister came back for another few days. And
Nice.
like, I don't know how people do it on their own. Like, or like real talk, like single mothers.
Man.
the champs of the world, dude. I don't know how you do it.
Different level of hard, man.
I feel in so many ways that our situation, like, we're the most privileged. Like, our situation for having a baby, I don't know that, we could really be have any more privilege than we did.
Yeah.
Like, we both have jobs where we were able to be off.
Yeah.
Where we were able to still get paid. We both of our families are alive and close enough to come and spend time with us. We also have like a community of people here that like took care of us. Like, I almost felt guilty in some ways.
Yeah, I know. I believe
because I know that there are people that do this all the time
Right.
with so much less than what I experienced. And I can't imagine it. I can't imagine how you get through, the first, I don't know, month or so.
Yeah, just
trying
by
to do
yourself.
that on your own.
Right.
Or like going back to work and, like I took a pretty good chunk of time off. And it worked well with the holidays being,
Yeah.
around. But like, oh man, I think that's been something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. Was just so many people do this with so much less than what we experience.
Yeah.
And
it was hard for y'all.
yeah, and that's where I'm like, God, man, like we really are sitting in a place of privilege.
Yeah.
And like, and yeah, I mean, this whole, I feel like in a lot of ways, this whole experience has like continued to open my eyes to like my place of privilege that I live in. But like, especially with healthcare, like, it's done nothing but make me want everyone to have affordable access to healthcare, more than I've ever felt before. Because I don't know what the answer is. I just know like what is happening
Right.
it's not good. Like, it's not
Where we're at right now, ain't
right. Like the care that we received from our doctors and nurses was wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a bone to pick with like Jamie's doctor, Dr. Furman. Like, if somehow you watch this, shout out. Dude, she's awesome. Like, she was so professional with like enough, like she's empathetic enough, but also like I felt like she might beat me up if she needed to.
Yeah.
Or like if I was being a problem, she'd be like, "Okay, you need to get out." Like, which I wasn't. But like she was wonderful.
Ability.
Right, yeah. She really, really great doctor. The nurses, all the staff, the care we received at the hospital was great. All of the like insurance, like billing, all that kind of junk like that. It's just a cluster all of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And my wife is a professional insurance fighter. Like,
Really?
we've been married 6 years. Whether it's insurance, home warranty, anything like that where you're relying upon somebody in some kind of like call center type place to do their job correctly for you to receive some kind of service that you're paying for.
Yeah.
And usually you're not going to get, like, dude, she's a pro. Like, writes, like, I talked to so-and-so on this day at this time.
Yeah.
And they said, like, so whenever something happens, which it will, she's like, no. Like, Kevin told me that this was taken care of. I think probably, you want to know the most wild thing from this whole process?
Yeah.
Back in April, I guess when she first told me we were pregnant. So before she could even have an appointment with her doctor, her OB that she already had, we had to actually confirm the pregnancy, like for real, not just the pee on the stick thing. We had to have a meeting with the business department at Scott and White to go over how we're going to pay for having the baby.
Really?
before we've even like really confirmed that this is happening, they're like, will that be cash or check, basically? Or like, do you have insurance? Like, how are you, and so the way like our stuff worked out, she pays for her own insurance because adding her to, I don't know if y'all know this, adding somebody to a spouse to school insurance, you go from like,
It's a bad move.
well, it's just, you go from being real affordable to like,
Real not affordable.
yeah, like real quick. So
Okay.
she has her own insurance, and her insurance guy's great. He was like,
Shouldn't it be the other way? Right? It should be the other way, right?
You would think so.
Okay.
and this is right.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
her
well, America.
It's a problem.
Her insurance dude was like, hey, it actually may be cheaper to wait to enact your pregnancy policy in your insurance and just be able to like make cash payments than however much it's going to cost you to enact this policy. And so he was like, you need to ask them when you talk to the business people. They're like, and this is where it's like, there's just at some level, like it's fundamentally flawed.
Yeah.
Wait, let me make sure I'm hearing. You said a pregnancy insurance policy?
So
like a
So Jamie had her own insurance,
Yeah.
and she had a deductible that would be enacted if she were to get pregnant.
okay.
So that's just tied to every female's insurance then?
I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true. So that, I think that was something that we did on purpose because
Yeah.
we were
Gotcha.
trying to.
I wonder, ask any of the homies. See
Sure,
if they have
yeah.
that. See if they have that attached to theirs.
Yeah, you probably have to like look and find out.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
and that's the thing. Like insurance, it varies and it's confusing.
Yeah.
And so we asked them like, okay, if we paid cash up front, like what? And they're like, well, if you're gonna pay cash, you have to pay 25% right now on the phone.
Before you even confirm the
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which, give or take, where's that number at?
Oh God, I want to say it was like $5,000. Like.
Just 5 G's out the gate.
Yeah.
Just to be like, yo, I know you're having a baby for real, for real.
Right. So if you wanted to pay cash instead of going through your insurance.
And this fool said that it was going to be cheaper?
Well, he was saying if you, like, because whatever she's paying a month for insurance was going to go up once this policy is enacted.
Okay.
So he was saying, over the span of your time that you're pregnant,
It might be cheaper
to just pay.
front load.
Right.
That's crazy.
But, like, I just...
Damn.
The longer that, after we had the baby, I thought back to this and I was like, I think there's just something fundamentally wrong about how the very first thing pretty much right after we were, she told me we were pregnant, she was pregnant, and we were excited. It was like, okay, how do we afford to have the baby?
Yeah.
Like the actual, like, process of having the baby. Like, I don't know, that seems wrong to me. Like,
Nah, that's pretty.
That's
pretty jacked.
and throughout the pregnancy time, she spent I don't know how many hours on the phone with Scott and White about, they didn't take care of this test, or they didn't bill something right, or all that kind of stuff that happens, But I'm sitting here thinking like, well, man, we're super privileged that she has a job where she can do that.
Yeah.
Like if we were both teachers,
No way.
we can't like sit on the phone all day.
Yeah.
Or if you're working an hourly wage job, that's time that you're not going to be making money.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one of those things that I was like, I feel like the system, the way that it's set up, it takes a dump on people who are already at a disadvantage.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why a lot of people without insurance, and this was something that I found out more like during the time we were pregnant. There are people that don't have insurance at all, right?
Yeah.
And so they show up to the hospital once they've started labor. Like
The first time.
yeah, because they can't afford it.
Damn.
Wow.
You know, like how crazy is that? Like we live in America, right? But like those are things that happen, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I feel like again we were in such a place of privilege throughout this whole pregnancy that it just made me think like this is not everybody's else experience.
Yeah.
Right.
You know that through no doing of our own are we in a position that
You might have had arguably the best experience.
right. I mean, you know, the C-section wasn't like super fun, but
Yeah.
you know, that was she's healthy, the baby's healthy, like everything was good. You know, but like the business side of all of that is I don't know.
Just feels gross.
It
man.
does.
Just feels
like
gross.
you just feel like they're trying to take advantage of you at every turn. Well, and the latest thing was, you know, so we didn't elect to have a C-section in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess maybe a couple weeks ago, Jamie's insurance was like they denied the claim for paying for the C-section because that wasn't the original thing we had on the
forms.
on the form. And she was like, yeah, but the doctor put it on the form
Right.
that this was, you know, it was a medical necessity.
Yeah.
That we have
You
this.
called your pocket and it went into a different pocket.
Yeah.
Right. And they were like, oh, well, we didn't look at that. So like they just like
Jesus.
at like a very basic level, they're just like trying to put it off on the other one.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
hospital,
yeah.
you know, the insurance company's like, oh no, we don't want to pay for that. The hospital can pay for that. And the hospital's like, no, we don't want to pay for that. They can pay, you know.
Yeah.
And so then what happens to people that, like I said, don't have jobs where they have the ability to spend time on the phone arguing and making sure that, you know, both sides are cooperating with
Yeah.
each other? Like, or what happens, God forbid, you take somebody's word for it.
Yeah. And it don't work out.
They're going to do what they say.
Yeah, they're gonna do their job.
I mean,
Which is such a wild concept to believe in somebody.
Yeah.
That they're gonna do what they're supposed to.
yeah, it's so, I don't know. It's just, all of this has done nothing but make me, you know, just kind of realize what a place of privilege I'm sitting in. That is not the case for so many people in this country.
Yeah.
Again, through no fault of their own.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I feel like something has to. That system we've got to fix it somehow. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not that smart. But
Not in our wheelhouse of
yeah, I can teach you to sight read. I can't fix the healthcare system, but yeah.
dude, yeah, man, that is crazy. I had planned to have dad talk too, and I didn't know what to expect, but that was not it. And I'm a little stressed out.
Yeah.
Like that's
Dude, but
intense.
But you know what? Like at the end of the day, when you go and see like your little kid's face just like smile at you when they wake up from their nap, it literally doesn't matter. You're like, okay, it's fine. Like everything, it's worth it.
Yeah.
All of it's worth it. So I don't know.
Damn.
My wife's the best. She's a champ, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Shout out Jamie.
seriously, because she dealt with all that. I mean, like I'm, teaching sight reading all day, so like I'm not on the phone with the
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, she dealt with all that before and after, and then had the kid. I just like I don't like.
Like it shouldn't be that hard. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Like really, And
She shouldn't have had to try that hard to make sure that she didn't get hoed on a Patreon
exactly.
on a bill.
Right.
Right. And these aren't little bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's
we're
not a
not
couple
talking
hundred.
like
it's-
no.
I mean the upfront of $5K, like
Yeah. Just like
It's just going north of that.
I want to look up the average pregnancy price. Average price of
it's gonna upset you.
Let's guess. What do you... Knowing what you know now.
I think probably if you had no insurance and did the whole thing like start to finish, I bet 25K.
Really? I was thinking something like 50.
I don't know.
What do we got?
So I've gotten like the first like thing that popped up. Wait, there was a better chart there. So cost of a vaginal birth with insurance, $5,000. Without insurance, 10.
Okay.
10? Or no, 20.
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. Hold on. Another chart popped up. Hold on. Okay.
Too many
So vaginal
charts.
birth with insurance was 11,000. Vaginal birth without insurance is 20. C-section was 16. C-section without is 28.
Yeah,
Jesus.
because it's a surgery.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is like by state.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Okay.
That sound those. I mean, again, I know those are just kind of Google
Pretty
averages.
round
Yeah,
numbers,
I
yeah.
feel like that's a fair kind of.
Jesus. Even with insurance, it's still
See,
10K.
Texas is like significantly higher. Texas is
dude.
actually lower. No, good for Texas.
We paid. This sounds so weird. We paid off the kid before she got here.
I own this baby now.
Yeah,
You gotta take it home.
it's like a truck.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. It's you put it on layaway.
A layaway baby. That's what they.
No, dude, I have a friend that like they had to do in vitro fertilization, and dude,
Oh, that's the doctor like put the
Artificial-
sperm in the egg.
Artificial
all-
insemination.
and it was like I remember his kid turned 2 whenever we were in grad school, and he was like, "Dude, we just paid off our baby today." Like, what?
Jesus.
You've been paying off your baby for 2, like all those things like that are crazy.
God bless.
Even more expensive. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
wild.
wonder how expensive all the gene editing is.
Oh, I'm sure that's like.
You know what I mean?
No, you can edit your genes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I-
what's
could
the
I have-
company?
Could I have like the Wolverine thing?
Okay, maybe not
They
that.
haven't found the
adamantium
the mutant gene. Yeah, that hasn't
Not yet.
been unearthed.
Sign me up for that one.
What's
though.
that company? Damn it!
Thought I'm looking it up.
Please look it up.
Gene editing.
But there's like one specific company.
CRISPR.
Like that. Thank you.
CRISPR. Yeah.
Yeah, CRISPR. And it's like, it started out with like, if you have, like Down syndrome in like your family
Yeah.
or Alzheimer's, stuff like that. So like they started the gene editing process to like make sure you have the most
Sure.
healthy baby as possible. But now that they've been, like kind of in that in that space long enough, they're just like, oh, you want your kid to be 6'5"?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Click, like,
And
yeah.
it works.
yeah, like there's high levels of what you can make your
what
baby.
you're telling me is that it's not. That it's possible for me to get the Wolverine gene in the not too distant future.
I'm gonna say maybe like 50 years, maybe.
Wait, you mean you or?
I guess one of my offspring, maybe my grandkids.
I would say your grandkids might be. Able
I'm
to
gonna say
get some.
guaranteed your great
I'm gonna be dead. I'm not
Grandkids.
trying to live that long.
And it might not be like the cool version either. It might be like just one extra bone that grows out of their elbow
Yeah.
or something.
I don't want that.
Just one.
I want the real thing.
full blown claws, baby.
You want an aggressive, immortal grandchild, basically.
Oh, what about the Baraka? Just the one blade out the
Sure.
out the forearm.
Yeah,
you,
I guess
you
I'd
settle
take
for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
My grandchild's a mutant.
Dude, could you imagine like how like handy that would be?
Pretty dope.
Just like cutting onions in the kitchen, just like.
Blue, and like especially if you can control the distance too,
Right?
Like it wasn't just like a out and in type deal. Just like I just need a little bit of a
I just
knife.
need my paring claws.
Yeah. Oh, but talking about the gene stuff. So like when we found out we were having a girl, they were like, there's this little like spot thing on her heart, and that's like one of the 10 markers for Down syndrome. So
Really?
literally, oh my God, you talk about a wild day. We go to find out what we're having.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, it's a girl. And we're like, oh, yay, like crying, super excited, happy. And then like the doctor comes in, they're like, yeah, everything looks great. Just do need to tell you that there's this little spot on her heart. It's probably nothing. But it is like there's like a list of 10 factors for that, early signs of Down syndrome. And like the last one is like this little white spot on the heart. And she was like, so I do have to tell you, like, that's at this point that's a possibility. And dude, I seriously like blacked out.
Damn.
Literally, like when she said that, I don't know anything else that she said. I don't know how I got home. Like I drove home, but I don't know. Like it was wild. Like the highest of highs to like being just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Well, like you told us that you were like staying up, like whenever.
Right.
Like,
So
I was
yeah.
That makes sense now.
That
Something like that happens, I would be
yeah.
like, I'm gonna stay up tonight.
That was definitely. So well, and before that, in the first trimester, I didn't know until we had friends having babies and stuff, like how common miscarriages or issues happening like that within the first trimester were. Just because I didn't know people, or people don't talk about it, especially
Yeah.
like when we were growing up. So I always thought those things were very uncommon, and the older I've gotten, the more I find that is not the case at all. And so the first trimester is really, if those things are going to happen, that's
It's
probably
usually
when it's
that's
going
when
to
it happens,
happen.
right? Yeah.
So, dude, that first trimester we were in like the height of hard lockdown, doing all the remote learning stuff.
Yeah, the
like,
tail end of the year.
all
right?
day long, sitting at the computer, sending 900 emails, all that. And dude, I would just be up like all night, just like, oh my God, like, is she gonna have a miscarriage? Like, oh my God, is the baby gonna make it? Like, probably like 3 or 4 nights a week.
Jeez.
Yeah, until we got out of that. And then whenever they told us that, it was like all over again until we did a test to where you can.
Really, they can test it to see if it's going to come.
Yeah, so they had like a couple options. We did a blood test where they get, I don't know, I'm probably getting this wrong. They took Jamie's blood, and it's like there's the baby's DNA is also in her blood, so they can
For real?
test it. Yeah, so they could test it and basically say you have
Guess
this
so.
99% chance that she doesn't have it.
Okay.
So, which is like pretty much as close as
Yeah.
or if you really, they have another test where they like take the baby's DNA from inside of the womb. So it's a little more high risk, but people do that to find out other genetic,
Predispositions.
yes, those kinds of things. Or if they want to know the gender of their baby earlier. So, yeah.
Wait, how early can you know?
I think we found out at 20 weeks.
Okay.
So about, I think like halfway.
About halfway. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's been crazy.
And good for you for not having it. Well, you did have a gender reveal thing, did No.
No.
No, you didn't. Yeah. Oh yeah, we were in the middle of
We
like
just
lockdown. So.
we just said we just put on something we were having a girl.
Good.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't,
It's not blowing up
so,
anything.
Birdie got a forest.
oh my God, yeah. So like some people, that's their shtick. Like
I like the cake. I think
The cake
is a good
yeah.
way to go.
or the balloon where you pop the
yeah,
balloon.
we
Yeah,
went to
balloon's
one.
nice.
We went to one yesterday that was like open a box and the balloons came
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cute.
But like,
Going
I'll
off
even
into the
take-
forest and shooting like.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll take the confetti cannon.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Just like that.
That's completely that's
Those
that's,
are the three acceptable.
that's big white people energy
Yeah,
right there.
those are the three acceptable gender reveal parties.
Yeah,
Anything else, you're doing too much.
yeah, yeah. And the truth is, after the first one, like we had like I don't know how many showers we had, dude. Like our kid, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole process, we're like so privileged, like
Yeah.
truly. But after your first kid, everybody's kind of like, oh, cool, you're having another kid, like. Cool. Anyway, so
Awesome.
let us know when they get here. We'll come. You know, like
We'll meet him. We'll meet him.
but like with the first
Meet
one,
and greet.
well, like my parents, well, no, both of us, our parents. This is first grandkid on both sides,
Oh, nice. Okay.
so she's mega spoiled.
Oh yeah, stupid spoiled.
Like
From everybody.
my mother-in-law is the sweetest woman in the world, and she is just like, yeah, like she's so. I mean, my parents are pumped about being grandparents, but like I think it's different
she's on a
because
different level?
well, I think it's different because it's like she's a woman, obviously my wife's a woman, and like we've had a little girl, so like you know, like these are things that they've been like thinking about for
Yeah.
forever, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I mean, really. It's,
Sorry, I'm like doing like the like how many women go back?
Right.
Like it's a,
right. So that's another thing, man. Like seeing your parents become grandparents is super cool.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, because I don't really remember my parents, obviously, as like a super young child, or even whenever like my brother was a baby. I don't really remember what that
Yeah.
was like, what that dynamic, or like watching them
Right.
in that way. So, you know, just like seeing them be so excited to be grandparents is really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's also like sobering, you know, like there's a new life, like you're realizing in your own self, like you're not a kid anymore, like
Yeah.
you're not 18
Yeah.
anymore.
I think that's like the final stamp of like
Yeah.
like I'm trying to buy a house right now.
Right.
But like there's 20-year-old TikTok kids that have houses. Like
Yeah.
that's not
Right,
that,
yeah.
that doesn't mean as much as it used to.
I think it's still
Still a big deal, and I want to throw up
yeah.
every time I'm looking. Like I've been kind of putting it off. My parents are gonna help me out.
Yeah.
But just like kind of
Do
been putting it off. Just like doing the research, and then like my dad was like, I found a couple of these houses. Check them out. And then like yesterday, I was just for like 3 hours just scrolling through Realtor.com, and I was like,
Dude, I look at Realtor.com every day. Every day.
I've found I think a house like I think a mile away from you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the
Dude.
same subdivision.
Do it, man.
Yeah.
It's you talk about like, I have some friends that are a couple years younger than me, my best friends, and one of them is married and bought a house. The other one's married. They just got married in October and they're renting. And he's kind of started, you know, asking us questions. I'm like, dude, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, cause you're throwing $1,000, $1,500 a month down the toilet in rent every month.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that money you're paying for a house is going to come back and you're just paying yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it to it.
It also is just like kind of like I'm also just a little stressed out about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
like,
it's stressful.
it's mad stressful, but then also it's like I'm staying here.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yep. It's an investment. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I remember having, oh my God. Yeah. We missed, I think we put offers in on 4 or 5 houses before we got the one that we live in now. That first home, it's hard to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
People that are buying second, third homes and or they're moving in from other states.
Yeah.
Our friends that we went to their gender reveal, they're moving back to Temple, and they were telling us that they got overbid on like 3 houses by like $25,000 or more.
Jesus.
Like not small amounts of money, like
Yeah.
large amounts of money from people that are moving in to Texas from out of state. Like, yeah, that
Like California, chill out.
seriously.
Back up, son.
Or like, my folks live in Austin, or they live in Pflugerville.
Yeah.
They don't live in Austin. That always annoys me when people would be like, "I'm from Austin." I'm like, "No, you're from Round Rock."
Right, yeah, different.
Like,
It's different.
so, my folks live in Pflugerville, and they've been there for, well, I mean, since 94. But they've been in the house that they live in since, I don't know, 2000 maybe. I don't know, something around there. And like, I think my dad told me they paid like $130 or $135 to build it. You know, and it's just like it's a custom home. Like,
Yeah.
it's not anything like super. It's not, it's not 3,000 square feet or anything like that.
Just a
But
nice.
like
nice house.
it's a 2-story house, and he actually did put a huge patio on the back at some point. But that house now has at least doubled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if not
Easy.
more.
Easy 400.
Like, it's insane. Like, the housing market right now is
Have you looked at
crazy.
the houses in Temple? No.
Dude, this is the place to buy, man. The market here, and also the interest rates right now are the lowest. Yeah.
That's a big reason why I'm trying to jump on it.
'Cause-
But no, I started just being like goofy and just like looking like full price range. Found like not even like a sad mansion, like a like a stupid mansion for like $865.
Yeah.
Here, like 10 acres.
865.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
right.
like 6 bedrooms,
Yeah.
6.5
I
baths.
think I saw that one.
2 stories.
looked at it
It's got
yesterday.
what are that staircase called?
Oh, like a spiral
Spiral staircase?
staircase?
Not the spiral, but the grand staircase.
Oh, yeah.
where it curves up. Mm-hmm. Some like the entire back wall on the house is a balcony, and then overlooks this massive pool.
Wow.
Just ridiculous. A massive fountain landscape thing out front
$865.
for $865,
Yeah.
dude.
That would go for millions in like
Right.
California.
Oh,
No,
dude,
I
no,
mean-
that's 10
Like
easy.
where we live here, if you have I mean, I can't fathom $1 million, but like, if you have $1 million to spend on a home, you could literally buy whatever you want in this area.
Yeah, in this area, there's no like, we might not be. No, it's
No,
like, yeah, no, you got
like,
it. You got it.
And then like, dude, like, I'll watch some of those shows like on HGTV, and the people will be like, hey, we live in Boston, and I'm a butterfly salesman, and my wife like paints toenails, and our budget's $950,000, looking for like a four bedroom walk up here that's like 1,000 square feet. Like, what? Like,
Every room is a closet.
they are.
Every room is my closet.
Yeah.
But that's basically what they are. I mean, they're like
Dude, no, you're right.
they're like
It's
glorified
stupid.
apartments, and they're like, oh, this is a super great deal. Like, you're not gonna
Only
find
$850.
Yeah, they're like, oh, $850. I'm like, in Texas, even in Dallas or Austin, like
For $850, you're getting a respectable home.
Yeah.
like a that still is mansion level.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And like the Northeast, that's just like, like at least the stuff. I mean, they're showing on those shows. I'm like, I don't want to. I wouldn't want to live there. Like, that thing's
no.
falling apart.
yeah, you could get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house out here for $80K.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Like,
You could buy a brand new custom home, $175.
Well,
3 bed, 2 bath.
Atlanta did.
Pretty
basically.
standard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
pretty
did,
standard. Like,
Not
yeah.
a full blown cookie cutter house, but like
Right. A
like,
little
you
bit.
know, some things were asked for.
It's
and-
wild. Yeah. Or I don't know how people, but that's like on the coast. Like, people are just like, money isn't real. Like, we just we just operate in credit card debt. So
like 800,000 on a 1,000. I mean, yeah, probably like a 2,000 square foot home. It's so dumb.
I mean, 2,000 square foot home. Like, that's what my house is, 2,000 square feet. Like, that's...
Okay, yeah.
That's a good amount of space.
That's
like,
twice the space of my place.
But you wouldn't pay 800,000 for your...
Absolutely not. Like,
God, no. God, no.
No, yeah. So, buy the house. You should buy a house.
Well, I'm working on it.
You should.
I'm working on it. I need to...
I really should.
I have one more collections on my credit that I need to wash, and then I'll be able to like I have no credit card debt. I've got the $1,500 for the Mazda that I took out a loan to buy that.
Marcus's Mazda.
Bro,
Miata.
I've been driving it. I can't get into the Hyundai. I can't do it.
Marcus's Miata.
You're never gonna be able to get in it.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not. We should do a special episode one week
Just in the car.
where you and I go on a drive in your Miata.
Just
It's
it
like
could
a
be like
clown
that,
car.
dude. Yeah. No, hey man, I'm working on it. I got about $2,000 to throw at it.
Dude, I'll never forget the first time you rolled up in that thing at the school. It was right before the snowpocalypse.
It was, dude.
I saw like somebody speeding through the parking lot. I was like, oh god, one of these kids got a Miata.
Pulls up.
And they're always coming into our parking lot there. And then like Marcus gets out and I was like,
Wait,
but then he like gets this like clamp thing and he like clamps the tarp.
Wait, you had to clamp it.
He like clamps
The
the
driver's
tarp to
window
it.
doesn't. The driver's window doesn't go all the way up.
Literally sitting in my car watching all of this, just like, what is happening right now? Like, and then it started. I think that was the day that it started. That we let school out early.
Yeah,
because it was like starting to ice and sleet and stuff. And
Yeah, dude. I got there and I just put the cover on, the window cover, and then I was like, first period was about to start, and
it started icing.
it started like getting sideways, and I was like, I don't even remember what I told the kids. I was like, hey, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Go put the full tarp over it, and then it stayed there for a week and a half. Because I couldn't get to it.
We were all out there like knocking ice off our cars trying to go home before it got real bad. And we saw your car and like the window down and we were like, is Marcus gonna like make it home? Like, I don't know, but I gotta go. So
he got it.
Yeah.
No, it was great, man. It was a good time. And it was, the same thing with my motorcycle.
Oh, you have a motorcycle too?
Yeah, dude.
I don't think I
Come
knew
on,
that.
bro. I'm single. Like, I'm the epitome of a single dude in his late 20s.
I am not.
Yeah. We are
the opposite.
100% opposite, bro. You got a house, a wife, a kid, 2 massive dogs.
Yeah.
You check all the family boxes.
True.
I live in an apartment.
and have 3 vehicles.
I have 3 vehicles.
1.5 of them works.
All in all, 2 work. The Hyundai works mostly. It's like at 80%. The motorcycle's at like 70%. The Miata's at like 60%. Yeah.
Okay.
It runs.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, man.
Hey,
I got down to Austin
I
the
can
past
change
couple
my
days.
oil. That's all I know how to do on cars.
See, I could do a decent amount.
I can change my tires too. I can do
That's important, yeah. I could do a decent amount of like working on a car. I just don't have the space.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
The apartment complex isn't like super
surprisingly enough,
thrilled about you like replacing a transmission in the parking lot.
Yeah. Can't get the engine lift to just like
They're like showing the apartment complex to potential people, and
here's the shop.
Marcus just out there with his shirt off and his music like turned up.
Here's one of your neighbors
smoking a cigarette, just like
staring at it.
I don't even smoke, but to do this, I have to.
Transmission, you know. Like,
You know transmissions? You gonna move in? You gonna help me? What's up? No? All right.
just like someone's walking by, he's like, "Can you pass me that wrench?"
I'm trying to move
Some
in here.
like old lady's retiring. She's like, This guy looks scary.
I said 5/8.
Dude. But yeah, no, that's that between wanting to work on something, like the fact that I have my motorcycle just in the parking lot bums me out. And the fact that I don't have space to work on the car bums me out. And I want a dog,
Yeah, dude, dogs are the best.
but I can't get it. Like I don't want to have a dog and an apartment. Like homie needs a yard.
Oh,
so.
for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how people do the apartment dog thing.
Especially like with Kelsey,
Oh,
the big
yeah.
ass lab. Like I want a corgi. I can justify a corgi in an apartment. Yo, I love corgis, bro.
man.
Yo, keep running your mouth. I don't need those mini horses that you got.
Oh yeah, you got some strong horses. So.
Marcus wants a purse dog.
Yeah,
You can
bro.
put it- you
I
can
just
put it in
want
your purse.
I just want homie to be with me all the time.
You can take your Great Dane with you too.
You liar.
That's all I'm saying.
I can't take a Great Dane in the Miata.
Correct.
You tell me you wouldn't just like you cannot not smile if you see a dude roll up at the at a stop sign
with a
and his
little-
passenger is a corgi.
It's a little corgi pops his head.
I think a Great Dane head sticking out of the Miata is even funnier.
If he learned to just sit in the chair the entire time, that would be down for that.
Dude, my dogs literally they just are couch potatoes. Like,
They're so big, dude. It blows my mind.
yeah. They've kind of I feel like they've gotten the shaft since we had a baby. We kicked they don't sleep in our bed cuz obviously there's not enough space for that.
You're
And
a
I'm
large
allergic,
man,
right.
and they are two
Correct.
large dogs.
But yeah, we kicked the big one out of the room. He sleeps in the living room now cuz he snores so loud. Yeah. Mhm. It's kind of sad, but
Yeah, you know,
whatever. It's life.
It is what it is. Dude, so last thing, like going back to the teacher thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's all kind of in the same vein. Like at the beginning, I asked you if having a kid made you sympathize more with your students. I unlocked a level of sympathy with just humans in general when I did my student teaching and I did elementary education. And just seeing
Yeah.
those 5-year-olds, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
the senior at the high school used to be you. What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is.
And then it's like you see the seniors and you're just like, man, like before, like you meet people and you meet them at that age and they've always been that age to you. So like it's hard to imagine them as a baby.
Right.
And then
But at the same time, like, think about how much, like, for us teaching high school, like, how much maturation we see from someone that's in our program.
Exactly.
From freshman through senior year.
Yeah.
Like, these little boys that come in and they're like, hi, my name's so-and-so. And then they leave and they're like, yeah, thanks for letting me be in your band program. You know, like, I mean, just the physical aspect
Yeah.
of it. But, like, I don't know how that's my favorite part about running a program, because we get to have kids for 4 years, so
Yeah.
we can literally see
how they go.
see the growth over 4 years, instead of just being like, oh, I remember whenever Timmy was in my class as
English
in
one.
English
Yeah.
one, and I wanted to cut his throat every day. And now he looks like a really nice fella, you know.
Yeah, he's really good for Miss
Yeah,
So and So
right.
down the hall.
Yeah, he's on
Glad he figured it out.
He's on the superintendent's advisory council
Yeah.
now, like, you know.
that's a thought. Okay.
But it's interesting viewing people in that light and seeing how people grow over time, and how you're doing that as well with your child now, and then you throw into the mix of a student teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Which is super weird, because it's just a different level of like,
it is.
oh, if I don't do the right things,
Right.
you're screwed for a good chunk of your life.
Right. And I think, like, those are such, I don't know, part of me, like the student teacher thing. So she reached out to me, actually. So Alex was a senior at Ellison. I think she graduated 2016. Whenever a girl that we had, her name was Angel Tolbert. She was an All-Stater, and they made All-State together.
Okay.
And so Alex and Angel were roommates at TMEA.
Nice.
So like, like I met her and was kind of around her a few times at TMEA. And I love the Amy Triggs over at Ellison. She's awesome. So Alex reached out to me, I don't know, I guess back in the fall pretty early, and was like, hey, not sure if you remember me, I'm finishing up at Baylor. I need a student teach, and I kind of wanted to come student teach with you. And I was like, at first I was like, I remember it was a really irritating day, and that was because I remember texting her back and being like, I don't think you understand how much that meant to me that you would want to come student teach with me, because I don't know anything.
I really appreciate the compliment, but I'm gonna have to let you know you should really rethink that.
It really was very humbling for her to ask that. So I had a student teacher last year too, in the COVID year. God bless her.
Did you really?
Yeah. And
Damn, complete missed her.
She was only here for I don't know, a couple weeks, and then it was all
right,
we done.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think having a kid or having students or having a student teacher, they're all reminders to make you think back to when you were at whatever stage of life that is, and be like, okay, these are things that I experienced that were incredibly lasting on me, good or bad.
Yeah.
And I want to try and emulate that, or I want to try and avoid that. And I student taught locally here out in one of the Killeen schools, and by and large had a pretty good experience student teaching. The guy I student taught with, he let me do a lot.
Nice.
Which I always have appreciated, him giving me time to do that. So
you didn't just do coffee runs and music copies.
And so I've always said I want to try and give them actual stuff to do. It's hard because we're a month out from contest.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I student taught in the fall, and I feel that was so good for me as a student teacher, because I got to do a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of things that happen in the fall, but it's not contest season.
Yeah. I mean, you got region, you got fall concert.
Right. And fall concerts
concert.
are always dog crap. So who cares if your student teacher's cutting their teeth figuring it out?
Yeah.
So I got to conduct 3 songs on the fall concert when I was student teaching. So that's been a challenge, trying to find ways to especially, because we're just we're behind with a lot of stuff because of this year. So trying to find ways to give her real opportunities to be in front of the ensemble or in a sectional or whatever that she's doing it. And balancing, being yeah, you can do it, I'll help you out some, and then sometimes being all right, you got it. You're gonna, so, but she's great. I think that she's gonna be a great teacher, no matter what she ends up. She's a real go-getter, and I think that's the difference. I think there has to be something innate, at least in my experience, I think we talked about this a little bit last time, that drive to want to do it, to get in, because I know people that student taught that were petrified. They would have been perfectly content to just sit and not have to actually do anything.
Right. Yeah.
So that's not her. And she coming from, she went to Ellison, which is, I think, probably very comparable to Temple.
Yeah.
In socioeconomic
got some ups,
and
got some downs,
demographic makeup, I think. But she's going to Baylor for music school, which is very different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting flip. When she told me that, I was really surprised.
Right. So yeah, it's been interesting talking to her about like what some of her maybe Baylor colleagues, their perceptions of things.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's a little different. But I don't know. Like I try and be just like really honest with her from the get go. I was like, there are some things that I know I do pretty okay at, and there's some things that I'm not very good at, and I do what works for me, and you can watch and see how I do stuff, and you could do it when you're on your own, or you may hate that, and you know, like you're not gonna offend me by because I think everybody has to find their own style or whatever. But I think just trying to be hopefully like honest with her and about, you know, like we talked about budgeting the other day.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
all, like just stuff like that I'm like, okay, what things did I have no idea? To no one's fault. Just like, you know, talking about how do we do the budget, or how do you do contest entries? You know, all those things that we don't really get taught in music school. Those are things that I'm trying to at least go through at least one time with her to be like. But I mean, and I already told her, I was like, honestly, I'm going to show you this stuff now, but what you need to do is you need to call me once you have a job.
Yeah,
Right.
when it's
Like,
your turn to do it.
Call me
Yeah.
in 6 months whenever you're like, okay, how do I enter my kids for Regent? Like, and we'll, you
How
know,
do I order music? Where do I order this
right.
from? How do
Because
I?
everything I'm showing you now is, again, it's the whole undergrad is just drinking through a fire hydrant. Just
Yeah.
like so much
Yeah.
stuff. So, you know, but yeah, she's been great. She fits in really well with me and Megan and Donna. So, also shout out to Megan and Donna for holding down the fort while I was out on paternity leave. Like yeah.
Yeah,
They,
that's awesome that they.
Yeah.
They were.
They
I mean,
really,
you would hope that everybody would be super cool with it.
well, yeah, but still, like having like complete faith in your team at work, and knowing that they're gonna take care of stuff, and so like you don't have to be like, oh, are things okay at work? You know, like be fully present with what's going on. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, so
That's awesome, dude. Well, any final thoughts? Any shout outs? Any other plugs? Any words for the kids?
nah, man, I'm just like in a constant state of thankfulness and trying to be a better human all around. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so I'm thankful for our families. You know, they've just been so wonderful. Having parents and brothers and sisters on both sides. You know, so I'm so thankful for our families. I'm thankful for our community of friends here in Temple that have really just, you know, helped us kind of get through this first stage of life. You know, like the fact that, you know, our friends we have older friends that we spend time with that they're like, yeah, it doesn't bother me that your kid is screaming right now because I've already done this. You know, so like,
We've been through it.
Yeah.
you know, like I truly am just thankful for this physical place and the people that live here, and you know, just trying to make it to summer at this point.
What is it? 12 more weeks?
11 more weeks.
11 more weeks.
Too many weeks.
50 something days. We've got a couple of breaks there. So
Yeah. So we get Good Friday.
Oh my god, it's
What
hard.
else do we get?
I think there's like one in there's one more in April, right? No, wait.
This is it.
Is it just the one in
I
April?
think it's just the one in April.
And then there's a
then the top-
Labor Day? No,
Memorial
not
Day.
Memorial Day.
Top of May, we get the 6 weeks Monday,
Yeah. So we get 3 days off of
and
that.
then Memorial Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Holy Week this week.
Shout out Jesus.
And then
Yeah,
the
man.
last week's only till Wednesday, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out Jesus. It's coming back on Sunday. If you didn't know.
Dang.
I got 3 services before then though. So
Oof.
Yeah. I need to see if I still have a job. I'm working I'm doing the
you're playing the
drums at Methodist?
banging on the
Yeah.
bongos.
yeah, and I had to call in this morning. Yeah. Just
Fire.
got He hasn't texted me back
Tune
yet.
in next time.
Yeah, so hopefully I have at least keep the job until Easter, and then we'll see. But hey, brother, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Shedding some light on having a kid, man. I'm both traumatized and very excited.
Yeah, that sounds about. That's kind of how it goes. It doesn't really change.
Yeah, man. So we'll see how it goes when I get there, man. But that sounds.
I'm excited to see when that happens.
Don't hold your breath, bro.
Marcus as a dad will be
a weird time, man. It's gonna be a weird time.
Very much will be around for that, even if like we're not in the same city anymore.
I just want to see him like freaking out in the hospital. Just can't do anything.
Yeah, I'm a dude. Yeah, that 45 minutes where you're just chilling, I'm punching the wall. I can't.
Just wait.
Nah.
You know what's worse than that? When they're just screaming.
Oh.
And you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Oh.
That's very rare that happens, but yeah, that's
not looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, brother, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you
so much.
Man.
Everybody that's been rocking with us all the way to the end. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.